Raid brings rods to the USA. New art hats from Sims. And the latest edition Respect Series drop from Megabass. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle.
Oh, what a stud.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was sick.
Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. All right, guys, some breaking news. What's new this week at the Hookup Tackle?
What a beautiful post-spawn fish.
Look at that.
Look at that gut on that. That's a nice fish.
What is up, my friends? I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, a Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined this fine Sunday morning by my buddy CJ at Desert Basin. This is weird for you and me to be together on a Sunday, but welcome. Happy Sunday.
It's a great Sunday morning to be doing this.
I'm going to try something.
Oh, uh-oh.
So, by the way, we're the Hookup Tackle USA. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. We highlight new product drops, important restocks, so you guys can stay on top of the coolest tackle in the world. You also get to watch me drink beer, which is weird for some of you and disturbingly pleasurable for some of you. Enjoy, my friends. Happy Sunday. This is the most delicious beer from Japan. And I always bring two. I'm usually used to being denied. I'm going to try something new. CJ, would you like a delicious Orion?
Actually, I'll just take some water. Of course I want a beer. Of course.
There we go. Cheers. Gosh. Crack that bad boy. Finally.
Oh, such an
to
amazing
Jeff,
sound.
who is throwing swim baits in Texas with Jared and doing whatever he's doing. We don't miss you.
Come pie, Jeff.
Yeah, come by, Jeff, with your water. How's that on a Sunday morning?
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is delicious.
Ooh, that'll put some hair on your chest. Love it. God, so good. So
It's
good.
like life coming back. I can feel it going in my veins. Might have a problem.
It's basically water.
Let's talk about tackle.
Let's do it.
Before I just drink all day. First of all, happy Sunday to you guys. I hope spring is treating you guys well. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. Hopefully some of you are fishing while you're watching this. I got some really cool things this week for you, so buckle up. Megabass has some amazing drops this week. We're going to start right here with one of the most interesting Respect series colors that I've seen in a long time. This is the brand. You know what, CJ? Why don't you show the people what we are dropping today? Okay, you got it.
Let's do it.
You want to finish your beer, or are you good?
Let's run
Talking
it.
to you.
Let's run
Okay.
it.
All right. Let's go. All right, excellent job, CJ. Good job.
Thank
and that
you,
was
sir.
only a few sips in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well
Not
done.
too bad.
Well done, sir. All right, so there you go, guys. There is the new color, Red Eye Glass Shrimp. This is a really cool color. So let's take it out of the package. Let's talk through it, and then I'll run through the baits with you guys. Make sure you don't miss anything. So this is a color that's obviously designed to mimic like a molting or a soft shell shrimp in Japan. Could also be kind of like a soft shell craw type pattern. But really, I think a lot of baitfish guys are going to find this incredibly attractive because it's really like a super pale pro blue. It's transparent. It has this really natural kind of bluish kind of pro blue pearl on it. And then the belly is designed as a clear green pumpkin. That's what they call this brown, is a clear green pumpkin. But it's almost a faint chartreuse with that pro blue under it. So depending on how you're looking at this, whether the light's hitting it or whether the light's behind it, it goes from like a transparent pro blue to like a transparent clear green pumpkin, really, really light chartreuse. It's a really neat color. And then of course the red eye is really more of like a pink eye, right? Which is designed to a lot of crustaceans when you pick them up, like shrimp and crawfish, they'll have kind of a pink hue like under a black light. So it's kind of designed to imitate that. So you've kind of got that little trigger point and then just this really cool body. So a very cool color. I think it'll be applicable wherever you guys are. If you're fishing in grass, if you have crawdads, and of course if you have shrimp around, it should be right up your alley,
Yeah,
right?
freshwater shrimp.
But even if you don't, this is just a really neat, interesting kind of bait fish pattern. It's going to be great for clear water, around vegetation, that kind of stuff. What do you think, CJ?
I think it's going to be a super versatile clear water bait. I mean, obviously there's not a ton of like freshwater shrimp, let's say, but it looks like a nice looking candy-sized crawfish.
Yep.
And can also double as just kind of a general shad pattern too, because it's
sure.
blue.
Yeah.
So.
Here, take this one, hold it up into the light, and watch how it changes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely
See how it
gets that,
shifts?
like a lot of green pumpkin hit on there.
Yeah. It's
I
a
like that
really
a lot.
interesting color. So you really get some neat shifting happening.
Yeah.
So let's run through the baits. Obviously, again, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to Megabass, every month Megabass does a Respect Series drop. And what that means is they go through their catalog of colors and they find colors that have a lot of history within their brand. And they do a special one-time run of, you know, select baits, right? So 12 baits, 13 baits, 14 baits. And they just do a really cool little drop and then it's gone. Okay, so if this is a color that speaks to you, this is a one-time chance. So grab them if you want them. Because they will likely evaporate out of here. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yep.
let's run through the baits. It is going to be available in an Ito Vision 110 that we just showed you.
We love that.
Every Respect Series drop this year is also going to include one of these guys. This is the X75, otherwise known as the X Nanahan. So this is really cool. Basically a 1/4 ounce version of the 110. So a true downsizing bait. Available in that. It looks great in that little dude. It's going to be available in a Live X Model 1, which is super dope.
Yeah, that's rad.
That
I
looks
like that.
really good in that. This is a really cool bait that's super under the radar with a lot of guys. A new one that just released earlier this year. But guys are just jacking them on this. Kind of a crankbait, shad bait kind of hybrid. So it's available in that. It's available in the SRX Quiet Griffin. You can see that, right?
Yep, we got it.
Dude, sexy little crankbait. So that looks dope. It's available in an SRX Griffin. Okay, it's going to have rattles in it. Right? So any little crankbait's going to be sick in that. Flap Slap LBO. So again, no-brainer there for you if you want a smaller jerkbait size. They really did some great crankbaits in this. So I'm excited this month we get the Deep X 100 LBO, but we also get a Deep X 200 LBO that they haven't made in a Respect Series drop in a while. So excited to see it available in both of those. That's filthy.
That's a really nice
That's
color
a
on that
filthy
bait.
crankbait.
Guys are gonna catch them on that.
Oh my god. With the transparent green pumpkin. Oh. I might have to buy
That box
a bunch
might
of
not
these.
make it out the
Yeah, I
store.
might have to buy a bunch of these. Giant Dog X. Vibration X Ultra.
Nice, I like that
No,
too.
everyone I pull out looks better and better. Pop Max, look at the eye.
Yeah, eye is pretty sick.
Ridiculous.
That transition on the Pop Max is
Yeah.
gonna be crazy.
And then a Pop X. Okay,
Nice.
so there you go, guys. There is the drop. Red Eye Glass Shrimp from Megabass, the latest Respect Series color. These are available right now while supplies last. Go grab them. All right, guys, staying on Megabass, couple more limited edition drops to let you guys know about this week. One of our favorite little crankbaits, the MRX Griffin. This is a bait that used to be in the core line, and through the course of just COVID and, you know, production issues and, you know, everything being so busy, some baits kind of had to be kind of put off to the side to make sure 110s could be produced and mag drafts could be produced and all these things, right? And this is one of those sad ones that kind of got like pushed off to the side and everybody's been wanting to get back. So we had Megabass do a special run for us on this guy. This is the Megabass MRX Griffin. It's not a discontinued bait. It's just one that they're not going to have a chance to make very often. So if you guys like throwing little crankbaits, this is a no-brainer to have in your arsenal. If you guys are already throwing this, you're excited that these are coming back. I'm gonna walk through the colors because there is, what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 10 colors. This is a, we're gonna call it a one-time offering. But at some point, hopefully we'll see these come back into regular rotation, but scoop these up while you can if this speaks to you. Just spec it out, 43 millimeters, 1/4 ounce. You're looking at about a 2.5 to 3 meter dive depth. So this is like a true like 6 to 10 foot bait. It's designed with what they call like a ping pong action. So it's designed to hit and then kind of bounce off like a ping pong ball and then right itself back. So it's got this really unique kind of movement to it that no other crankbait in their lineup has. It's got a little high pitch rattle. Actually, you know what? Let's take one out. By the way, that's Gill. That's one of the colors. Okay.
Looks good.
This is PM Sexy Crown, which is a super dope one that's hardly ever made. It's basically kind of like a, well, it's a shad pattern, almost like a Tennessee shad, but it's got this beautiful, can you see that really cool like blue sparkle in the back?
I think we might be
super
barely seeing
faint.
it.
It's super faint. Like I can barely see it, but it's got a lot of just gorgeousness to it. But here's the sound. Right, so it's a little bit higher pitch, designed really to just create something different. And again, that round shape is going to allow it to have a really wide wobble and then bounce and then just track true again. So really cool bait. So that's PM Sexy Crown. You've got Skeleton Gill.
Ooh, I like that one.
Super sexy.
Yeah.
Right? You've got Fire Craw, of course. One of the best sellers. You have GG Kasumi Tiger, so like a little baby perch, no brainer. You have GG Kuro Demis, kind of like a black shad, right? Kind of a darker kind of pattern. You have one of the best-selling colors, GG Moss Gin, so it's kind of a silver, kind of greenish back color. You have one of my favorite colors, the GP Crack Lime Chartreuse, right? So you get that kind of crackled lime back and just a beautiful shad body. Avocado Ayu, so another one of their best-selling colors. It's just like a natural green pumpkin Ayu kind of color.
Super fishy color.
And then we also had them do it in that bad boy.
Oh, you did it. Wow.
Yeah, we did it. So this is a color that they hardly ever make anymore. It's just a true kind of matte white crackle kind of color. So there you go, 10 colors, MRX Griffin. Again, we expect these to fly out of here as well. So if this is a bait that speaks to you, scoop them up. Enjoy, guys. Those are available now.
That's going to be a huge player this spring.
All right, another limited edition drop. Let's just keep the ball going here.
Tripling down.
Okay. So a couple of months ago, we brought the release back of a limited production run of the Vibration X Smatra. I don't know if you remember this. This is a little bit smaller lipless bait than the Vibration X Ultra. That's a core bait in the line. But this is their bone knocker. So what that means is that it's made out of a bone ABS material, and it has a more of a knocking sound than like a bunch of BBs inside of it, right? So 3 new colors, plus we got a very small restock in some of the colors we had before, right? So they just finished the batch, we took everything. So if you guys missed out on colors like the Bone Kinkuro or Viper Craw or anything like that, those return, but 3 new colors come, okay? Baku Gill. I bought all these, so I took them out of the package.
They're not actually available. They're just going to show them off.
They're all in my box. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, one of the sexier bluegill patterns, right? And here's the sound, just so you guys can hear it out of the package. Right, so you can just hear it's just got that really nice, you know, kind of subtle lower pitch sound, and just in a perfect package. 1/2 ounce, nice and small, but easy to cast. They're just going to destroy that thing. So, Baku Gill. Here's a color you're going to recognize coming down from the Vibration X Ultra. That's Bahama Bone. Okay, so no brainer, just a bone color, a little bit of orange on the belly, a little bit of silver on top, and CJ, heart.
Oh, I heart you too.
Thank you. And then Bone Crown. Okay, so very similar to that PM Crown from the MRX Griffin. Okay, just a super sexy all-around shad color. Okay, so there you go. I expect these to evaporate out of here. 3 super dope colors. So if those speak to you, if you guys like smaller lipless, these are no-brainers to add. That's the Smatra Bone Knocker, available right now. All right, while we're talking about Megabass, let me highlight some restocks on some items that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on. let's start with this. This is a very small restock, but the hottest bait of spring is back in almost all the colors. We had all the colors over this week. Some of you guys are sneaky and you watch very, very closely and you scoop stuff up. So if you missed out on Sleeper Craw, this is your chance. You can gobble up the majority of colors right now. These are going to evaporate out of here. We should see a bigger, larger restock maybe towards the middle to end of May. It's probably not going to be fall until everything is readily available again. So if you've been having success, if you need to add some more, or maybe you missed out, you want to add it, you can definitely scoop up the Sleeper Craw, one of the hottest baits of spring. Those return. We see a huge restock this week across the board on jerkbaits. So 110s, juniors, plus ones, everything returns. So a lot of key core colors are back. So colors like Secret Grape is back, Sexy IU, Wagain Hasu, some of those under the radar core colors return. While I was over there stocking, I also noticed that at some point we got SBOB shad back. I think we got this back a couple weeks ago, but there was still some SBOB shads and even some fine arts that were still over there.
Wow.
So I think they're just flying under the radar. I think guys just aren't seeing them. You know, this was a classic release, so there's still some over there. So if you missed out, you can scoop up on the fine art Shireo or the SBOB shad. SBOB shad, just to make sure you guys know, I'm sure you guys all know by now, this is that super dope color Megabass makes. It's basically a clear, transparent, that when it flashes, you get that little subtle hit of that orange red. So those are in a 110, and I saw silence over there. So either way you go, but huge restock and some really cool colors sitting over there available in the 110. Also, 110 FX, huge restock across the board, including pumpkin seed. So all the key colors, crystal shad, sexy French pearl. Pumpkin seed is one of those special colors that every time we get it in, it evaporates out. It's just a great spring bluegill pattern, okay? So if you guys have been waiting on that. The FX, by the way, is the movable lip 110. So this is a great one going into post-spawn, okay? Because it's a true suspending 110. So it has a folding lip, so it casts a little bit better than a regular 110. Cuts through the wind, you don't get quite the wind resistance that the regular 110 gets on that lip. But as it moves, it has a true suspend versus the slow float of the original 110. So it maintains its depth really, really well. A great one post-spawn, early summer, when those fish are more suspended and you need that bait to just kind of sit there and marinate and, you know, give it some rips and then just chill and let it really sit there. The FX is a great one. So those return. For you trout guys, it has been ages since we've had these in stock across the board, but the Great Hunting Humpback returns. All colors, all sizes, okay? So it's been so long since we've had these. I'm just gonna talk about them real briefly just to make sure everybody remembers these. So the Great Hunting line in Megabass is their trout line. They make some amazing trout baits. They make the Great Hunting flat sides, little jerk baits, little vibes. The Humpback is the newest addition to that line. And they've only done like 1 or 2 releases over the last year and a half that it's been out, and they sell out very quickly. It's a great one for trout, obviously, is the design target species. We throw these all the time for bass. So if you guys are fishing any type of current, a river system, a stream system, anything where there's a little bit of current coming down, these are killer. They're going to be a sinking version. So they call them a fast sink. I would call them a sink. Yeah. So you throw it out there and it just kind of sinks like that. Right? It's not like a, it's just kind of a doop. So you can throw it in lakes, of course. Shit, I think last year when these first came out, Griff and I were fishing and he caught like a 5 or 6 pounder at Pleasant on one of these. Yeah. Just because he had it tied on from when we were BFS fishing. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm just going to throw it. And he threw it and caught it. Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, that was so sick.
Griff's just a legend now.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So they catch all kinds of species. So there's 3 sizes, right? So this is the 64. Okay, so this is 64 millimeters, 8.3 grams. Okay, so you can see it's kind of got quite a bit of body. So this is gonna be more of like a true river size, big water, right? That's a great one. Then it goes down in size to the 51. And by the way, there's like 12 different colors. Okay, so there's all kinds of things from Wakasagis to Ayus, Yamames, right, to crazy bright colors like iguanas and, you know, chartreuses and golds. Okay. So the 51 is this one. This one is 51 millimeters, 5.1 grams. This is my main size. This is the one that I throw the most. It throws on all my normal BFS gear, whether it's a in a yellow, a Pop X stick. It's just a good all-around size to use. And then they have the 46. The 46 is a 46 millimeter 4 gram size. Okay, so it just staggers down in size. So if you need a little smaller bait, shallower water, then the 46 is deadly. Okay, so trout guys, BFS guys, you may rejoice now. All colors, all sizes, great hunting humpbacks return from Megabass. We also see a huge resupply in spinnerbaits this week, specifically the V9. The V9 has been flying out of here, so you guys must be catching a ton of fish. V9's a super dope spinnerbait that gets overshadowed a lot from the SV3. In fact, we talked about this during our April baits video.
Yeah.
Right? That the SV3 is an amazing spinnerbait, and since it's been out, nobody really talks about the V9. The V9 is a hardened wire spinnerbait that's designed to fish pretty quick and aggressive. It has a super hard vibration to it, and when those fish are in a shad spawn or wanting to chase something down, this is an amazing one because you can fish it real quick, you can keep it high, the water flows right over that head design, which just keeps it tracking true at any speed. It's just a really dope spinnerbait. Just word of caution, don't boat flip.
Yeah.
So that hardened wire is designed to create a super hard vibration, but if you boat flip too many times, it'll break. So just if you use this and you lip the fish or net the fish, you'll get a lot of life out of your spinnerbait.
Yep.
Okay, so all colors return in those guys. And then finally, in Megabass, 4-inch bottle shrimps return. This is a super hot bait anytime punching is happening. So flip and punch in, just a great bait. It works great as a jig trailer as well. This is a very simple, soft plastic bait. Very straightforward, but it's an amazing bait to punch with. I know Griff punches this thing all the time. I don't know where he went, but I always see him punching this thing because there's nothing to really grab on vegetation. So it just kind of comes right through the vegetation. Plus, it smells like jalapeno chips, and who doesn't love jalapeno chips? Did you know that, CJ?
That's so true. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, just take a sniff, and you're going to just think Jimmy John's jalapeno chips.
Hey, if shrimp tasted like jalapeno chips, I'd eat way more.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. The 4-inch bottle shrimp, those are back in stock.
How's that beer tasting?
Dude, I've had coffee. Literally sitting over there at my desk right now, I have coffee, water, Dutch Bros Rebel, and Orion.
You're fucked up, dude.
My whole body is just going like this right now. I'm super, I'm seizing out internally.
All you need now is that sunrise drink Griff had at Butters the other day.
That was disgusting.
Dude, espresso and orange juice.
Oh.
What a beauty.
Oh, only Griff.
Even the waitress knew it was bad.
Yeah, even though she's like, no, it's disgusting. You probably shouldn't get it. Griff's like, I'll take one of those.
That's why we love Griff.
Okay. All right, finally with Megabass, I know I just said that, but we see a return in a lot of the hats that they've been out of stock. So if you guys have been waiting on any cool hats, everything's back in stock, from the Psychic trucker hats to their traditional hats. So full restock in hats back from Megabass. Now, let's use that as a bridge to our next hat. Notice
nice hat
I'm
there.
rocking a new stylish hat.
Looks pretty good.
We did a collab with Sims and Matt Stockton. Matt Stockton, a good friend of ours, customer of ours, an amazing artist. We've done some Stockton releases on some like largemouth T-bone, smallmouth 110, some really cool art on like solar flex shirts and stuff in the past. We finally were able to get some hats done, and the guys here are going crazy over it, right? Now, look, I'm a pretty big-headed guy, so I had to find the one hat that almost fits me. Right?
It looks good.
It
No, it
doesn't
looks
look too
good.
bad.
I like
if I
it.
shave,
Yeah.
if I actually cut my hair once in a while, it'd probably fit. But the hat that I have on top of my head, that's this guy. They're calling it a captain's cap. Okay, so there's two colors. There's a blue and a gray. So the blue has that swim bait largemouth on it.
Just so sick.
And then the gray has the largemouth T-bone. Also so sick.
Yeah, it's super dope.
So, and this is kind of almost like a polyester type material.
Yeah.
So it's going to dry quick. It wears good in the heat. I've already been, it's been 100 almost here already, and I've been wearing it well. So that's a really good one. Then we have some super dope hats right here. These are called camper caps. So these are an unstructured cap, multi-panels, super dope logo, more of a shorter bill. They've got a leather buckle in the back. This is This has got you written all over it.
Oh, yeah,
This
I mean,
is a CJ cap.
Look at this. Look at that. That's the one I'm wearing right now.
Right.
And it's
So,
almost identical.
Basically the same, but cooler.
Yeah.
So here,
Dude,
take
I
that.
love floppy hats like that because I beat my hats up. Like, I throw them in the back of my truck. I'm always wearing them. They get all bent out. So I like the floppy ones because I can just put them on and beat them up, and they look cool. And
I used to always think you needed a little head to wear this, but you've changed my mind.
well, it doesn't fit.
Big
I just
head,
have a big
little
head.
hat looks good on you. So if you have a big round head like CJ, this might be the perfect cap for you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So 2 different styles in this. There is the largemouth T-bone on this olive color. And then there's also a camel color. And this is in the smallmouth 110.
That is dope.
Yep. Then, staying in that style real quick, there is a structured version that Griff's been rocking. Looks amazing on Griff. I couldn't quite squeeze it over my big mug. But this is a 7-panel trucker. So very similar look, but a little bit higher. It's got that trucker. That's also in that smallmouth 110 in that cool camo color. This hat's sturdy.
Yeah, that's a nice hat.
Yeah. So those are available. And then if that's just too much, you just want to calm down, keep it easy. We got a couple of Trout logo hats, okay, just with the hookup tackle underneath. So we've got this nice black color right here, and we've got this nice heather gray. That's just so pretty.
Super clean.
Yeah, clean, easy. So you Trout guys have some options as well. So new hats from Sims, those are available now. One more thing new this week from Sims. I think we mentioned a few weeks ago that we got a huge influx of like waders and boots, and I didn't really dive deep into it. I need to do a special episode, so maybe next week we'll really dive into some of the new Sims products for waders and boots that are coming out. But this is one that I've been super stoked about, so I definitely wanted to share with you guys. This is the men's Flyweight Access wet wading shoe. Okay, now I know a lot of you guys spend your summers wading, right? And a lot of times, like waders and boots are great for colder temps, but we live in Arizona. So in the summer, like even when we go to the high country, dude, it might be 90 degrees.
Yeah.
You can't be wearing waders,
Nope.
right? And we might be walking, well, if you go with the nuts, if you go with Cal and Andrew, you're walking 35 miles a day.
Yeah, we're walking at least easily half the state.
Right. So here is a look at that shoe. Just a really dope shoe that's designed for wet wading. So whether it's streams, whether it's ponds, whether it's saltwater, whether it's flats, it's one shoe that's built for all wet wading conditions. So it has kind of this built-in neoprene kind of guard here that you can, tighten down and lock in. Everything about this shoe is meant to dry quickly. Water drains out of the sides, drains out of the top. So you get it wet, you get out of the water, it dries like that, and then you can hike the trail and you're not lugging around these big, heavy shoes. The foam on the bottom is incredibly hard, but grips incredibly well too, so you're not slipping and sliding on, moss or slick rocks. And if you're somewhere super gnarly, you could even add studs in there if you wanted to. I've never really messed with the studs. If it's that weird, I just go from a boat.
Yeah, I'm just jumping in my boat and
Right.
going fishing.
Yeah, but I love summertime wet wading, in and out of streams, rivers, all that kind of stuff. Just a super comfortable shoe just to wear.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like you're lugging in a boot. Feel how light that is. I mean, it's basically
wow,
just
it's
like
incredibly
wearing,
light.
a pair of Nikes or Adidas.
So light. I like that it's high cut too, because I've had shoes in the past that were like water friendly shoes.
Yep.
And they're low cut, and you just get a shit ton of rocks and stuff in there.
Yeah, you get a lot of rocks that come in. It also can rub on you depending
Yep.
on if you're wearing a sock or not wearing a sock.
Yep.
So I usually wear the Sims wet wading socks, and those are also great because then they're designed to dry and you can fold it again over, so you
Yep.
get protection and protection. But if you didn't want to wear a sock, you just wanted to throw it on, it's nice to have this to at least be able to tighten that down to keep all that from coming in right there. So very smart design. Excited to get those. Those are new this week from Sims. Yes.
Kayak anglers are going to love those.
Kayak anglers are going to love them.
Yeah.
Why are kayak anglers going to love them?
Well, it's because the draining feature on it. A lot of people are wearing these rubber boots and your feet just sweat in them. So now you can step in the water and it's just going to drain and dry real quick.
Very smart.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't even really think about that because I've never really fished that kayak. You have to go in the water almost every time to launch your boat.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, this would be a no-brainer for a kayak guy because it's going to be comfortable and light. drains real fast.
Non-slip for
Yep,
those rocks.
non-slip, so you can stand. You can wear this in and out of a boat as well. So if you guys are saltwater fishing, you're fishing a flat, you need to get out and you need to walk around, you know, coral or sand or whatever, then get back in the boat. It is a non-skid, non-slip. So there you go. I mean, it's a lot to talk about for a shoe, but it's an amazing shoe.
Yeah,
right?
once you have that shoe, you're covered for everything.
There you go. So new this week from Sims, new wading shoe. Boom.
What up, dude?
What's up?
It's a great Sunday morning.
It is. How's everybody doing?
I think everybody's doing great, dude. We're drinking Orion, having a great time, talking about cool shit.
Hell yeah.
What do you got there?
All right, guys. New from Baitsanity. We have the Explorer 9 Super Slow Sink. All right. It's a super sick bait. If you're used to throwing the Explorer 9, it's going to be the same body, same size. Everything's going to be pretty much identical to it, except for the sink rate is going to be a super slow sink. Everybody knows that the original, the Gen 2 Explorer sinks kind of quick, and when you're working it, it doesn't really hang. It's going to go down. It's going to sink a little bit. It's going to come up. So this one is balanced almost perfectly to suspend or slow sink depending on how fast you're working it, right? It's got this built-in technology to it. When you first cast it out, it's going to float. You gotta submerge the bait to get it to sink. They call it the submerge to sink technology. So it all has to do with the surface tension of the water touching the bait. Like once that water completely covers the bait and the hook, it'll start to slow sink.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. So same thing that's on the Explorer Gill sinking. If you toss it out there and it's floated and you kind of got frustrated with it, just give it a toss and let it get wet and it'll start to sink. Once all those air bubbles are gone, it'll just pull it down. It's super slow. This one's gonna glide in place really, really wide. I've been taking it out, I've been testing it. I'm getting like almost 2-foot glides on it. It's gliding. Wow. And then it's just like hanging there. And then you just glide it and it hangs there. And you can work it fast too, just like the original, but it's gonna come in this color. This is the only color that's available right now. So this is the IU. Super sick bait. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to fishing, but there's been a lot of giant fish caught on these Explorers lately. If you follow Baitsanity, he's posting it. A state record pike was just caught in Idaho on one.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so there's a lot of big things going on out there, so check it out.
What's really cool about that is Jeff and I talk all the time about like hanging a glide. Like when you glide and it shoots out, you just want to like let it hang for a second, and that's when the fish like eat it. You know, it seems like the best time for a fish to eat is on the hang. But a lot of swim baits they can't just hang naturally. Like you got to weight them with like lead strips or put a board, like a floating board weight on there or something to get them to hang.
So I wanted to bring this over too because I love the Explorer Glide. Yeah. But the regular Explorer Glide's heavy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like a fast moving bait. Yeah. So I'll use it like at the same time that I throw like a joint claw or something where I need to move fast. Yeah. But if you want it to do what this one does, like here's one out of my box that I have to do the same thing that this one does. You can see I've had to add floating boards on the top and bottom, change the hooks out to really small little tiny hooks to get it to sit there and not just sink like a rock. Yeah. So now with this,
right out of the pack,
you don't even need to alter it because everybody knows we're all a bunch of lazy bums. We don't want to alter it. We just want to take it out and throw it.
Just want to catch fish, man.
But everything's going to be identical to it. 9 inches. Is it 9 or 9.5? 9.5. 9.5 inches, 5 ounces. All right, just like the other, just like the Gen 2s. So if you're just looking to hang those baits, it's very important to hang baits here in Arizona, right? You don't want them to sink or come up too fast. You just want it to kind of sit in place. So
that IU color's so dirty too.
Yeah, it's a nice color.
Super sweet.
It's pretty sick. So check it out, guys.
Dope. Thank you, Griff.
Yeah. All right, while we are on glide baits, as I just mentioned, jointed claws from Gancraft. Huge restock in Gancraft jointed claws this week on some really hard to find Japan-only colors. Okay, so these are going to be in both the 230 and the 178. I'm just going to kind of showcase some of these. So like some of the sexy shads are back. Jeff's favorite color is back, right? We've got some of the matte finishes are back. Some of the traditional IUs are back. Some of the clears are back. So if you guys have been looking for some harder to find Japan-only colors of jointed claw, this is a great week to take a look and scoop them up while those are available. Those return from Gancraft. We also see a huge restock in the Gancraft sinker helpers. So we talk a lot about like the Zappu weight strips and floating boards. Those are the ones we use a lot. The Gancraft ones are also very, very popular. The Gancraft ones are popular because they come in a lot of different sizes. Zappu's 1 gram and 2 gram. Gancraft go, I mean, there's a 0.7, there's a 1, there's a 2, there's even a 4. Right? So if you're wanting to really weight your strip down, you could even get a big 4 gram and pull either a bigger glide down or really weight your glide to sink quickly for like live scope fishing and stuff. You can really get it to pull down fast. So those return this week from Gancraft as well.
I think it's really important for the guys that jumped onto the Saki Bomber run. Like what Jeff was talking about in that video with the 2 gram weight underneath the chin, it's really important for the K9 to get it to do what Griff was talking about, where it hangs the bait.
Yeah,
good.
And even the tiny. So like I've been throwing the tiny around a lot this week. Unweighted out of the box, it almost has to be a crankbait because if you get it to glide, but it floats, even the low float, you twitch it and it still just kind of floats. So in glide mode, it's hard to even get it to go much below the surface. But you put a little 1 gram below the chin, and now you've got this beautiful suspending, slow-moving bait that's there. So don't be afraid of these. I feel like sometimes we're beating it over people's heads. Like I think a lot of times people want to buy a bait and tie it on and use it, like what I was just kind of joking about, right? And of course that's the easiest thing to do, but it's literally a sticker. Like all we're asking you to do is just put a sticker on it, right? And then the bait performs so differently. It's almost like having 2 baits. So if you don't want the sticker, you have a real buoyant type bait. If you put the sticker on, then you have this beautiful slow moving suspending one. If you put 2 stickers on, then you have a slow sinking one that you could live scope with and throw it out to a fish in 20 feet or whatever. Options.
Exactly.
Right? So take advantage of these, from jerk baits to glide baits to everything, whether it's the Gancraft, the Zappu. The weight strips are so important. So those are back.
Jump on it.
All right, CJ, every year about now, right? We're almost there. When those fish finish spawn and they kind of finish their shallow stuff and they move offshore, our fish here just they school around gizzards. Right? And one of the best ways to get them pretty much all summer and into fall is with a big flutter spoon. Right? Now there's some great flutter spoons. The Ben Parker spoon, obviously a staple for ages. Deb says that Gurkha knife. Well, Signal has one called the Monster Flasher.
Whew, that is a big one.
And these are available now. These are a 9-inch, 4-ounce spoon. Okay, they are going to come with a swivel on the front, but you will have to add your own hook on the bottom, similar to the depths, right? You can put a treble hook down there. You can put a stinger hook down there. You can put whatever hook you like. Most guys will put a big treble, or those roped stingers are great from Owner. This is a really dope spoon that's designed to kind of bridge the gap between a Gurkha knife and a Ben Parker. So that Ben Parker, has that really cool flutter, and that Gurkha knife has this like crazy kick, right? That just goes like super far, as you can feel in your rod, just right? This is kind of designed to be in the middle. Right, so it's gonna have a little wider kick than a traditional like Ben Parker spoon. It's real thin, so it's able to kick out real far. It's just a really cool spoon. I think if you guys are throwing big Magnum spoons, you're gonna smoke them on it. Simple, 3 colors, right? There's kind of this matte silver, right? There's a gold, and then there's like this black gunmetal kind of color, right? So very simple. They're priced right at $20. Right,
nice.
So compared to a depth that's, you're gonna be $40 a spoon. Really, by the time you rig it up, you're right there in the Ben Parker pricing for a Japanese spoon. So there you go, the Monster Flasher spoon from Signal. Those are available now. And then we also see a huge restock in these bad boys. Jeff will be excited. He loves throwing the double rig. I was with him one day throwing that double clash rig, and he smoked a big one.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was really cool.
Yep. If you guys like throwing 2 baits at a time, these are the deal. There's 2 options. There is basically this wired version that's designed for swim baits and bigger baits, and then there's a smaller clear version where if you want to throw 2 crankbaits or 2 smaller glides or something like that, you can. So you can mix and match, but it basically just allows you to throw 2 baits at once. If you're using a glide bait or something like that, the baits have a tendency to kind of glide like this, right? And it just looks so natural. It looks so dope. So depending on the baits, you might have to take the hooks off the front one. so it doesn't snag as it's moving in and out. They almost always eat that back one, but some baits, you're good leaving the hooks as well, and you have a potential of getting 2. If that speaks to you, those return this week as well from Signal. Hanging in there, CJ?
Oh, dude, I'm hanging. I'm having a great time. You having a great time?
It seems like you're waking up the more beer you drink.
Well, I mean, it is
You were a little
Sunday
sleepy
morning.
there in the beginning. CJ?
It perked me up a little bit.
Are you here?
I'm talking to you.
It was a long week fishing with OSP.
Oh, yeah. So it was a long week, but it was a lot of fun.
We had an amazing time. We've got some really amazing videos coming that we will be dropping here soon. That we were able to. We spent a week with Toshi, the owner of OSP. Really good time, but dude, we're 22-hour days. All week. Like, the dude's crazy.
And
he
could
fishes
hang too.
hard.
Yeah.
Right, and then he likes to drink and eat and talk and just. You know, such great conversation. Really excited to bring that to you guys. And by the way, CJ, great job on the new intro.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
thank
to
you.
Our channel.
Yeah,
Well
it was a lot
done,
of fun to
sir.
put together.
Yes.
Happy people are liking it.
Yes. It gets me hype every time I see it. So, well done.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Nories. We don't talk about Nories very often, mainly because they just don't get a lot of baits over to the U.S., but they make some really interesting baits. They make some crazy baits, but they make some really interesting ones, and this is a relatively new one. This is the Nories Flip Gill and Flip Co-Gill. Okay, so basically it's the same bait, just a couple different sizes. So the Flip Gill is a 5-inch size. Flip Co-Gill is a 3.6-inch size. I'm going to take these out for you and show you. Basically designed to be, well, a gill.
I like it.
Could you figure that out?
Hey, 1 + 1 is 4, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm the otaku and you're just behind the camera.
Yeah, I'm just tackle.
All right, so here we go. So Flip Gill and Flip Co-Gill, you're basically looking at a little bluegill profile bait, super flat, right? And then you've got these little tentacles behind it. So designed to kind of fish like this. So free rig guys are gonna absolutely love this thing. You can fish it weightless, you can fish it Texas rig, and it's gonna have that flat profile while these legs kind of kick. Okay, so we sell gazillions of gill-shaped baits here, bull flats and so on and so forth. This is gonna be a great addition to there, but it's also designed to where if you wanna actually flip it in cover, it comes through that cover very well. It kind of glides through, doesn't get hung up and caught. So there should be a lot of applications you guys can use this bait for. And again, 2 different sizes. So if you want a larger profile, you've got the 5-inch. If you want a smaller profile, you've got the 3.6. But a bunch of colors, most of them natural bluegill type patterns, right? There's a perch pattern, there's some peppers, some lighter bluegill, so all kinds of different shades. So check them out from Nories, new this week, available now. All right, another soft plastic bait that we don't see very often from Jackall, Japan. This is the Dunkel 5. Okay, now the Dunkel 7 is a US core item. Almost always have them available. It's a really cool kind of, there's an internal structure in there, right? That makes the head kind of hard and firm, that gives it just a different movement than say something like a Megabass would have. The 5-inch is a really sexy size. It's just like a great biting size, right? So I know a lot of you guys have been looking for 5-inch Megabass, which we do still have a couple colors of 5-inch Megabass. Whiteback shads over there, I think Wakasagi we still have. But this will give you some other options in some other colorways. There are a handful of colors here, from whites to, you know, reds, to pinks, to Wakasagi. So if you guys have been waiting on the 5-inch Dunkel, this might be a great time to scoop those up. It's been quite a while since we've had these in.
Yeah.
So just spec it out for you guys. It's 5-inch, obviously. 29 grams, so basically 1 ounce slow sinking swim bait. So those are available now. All right, CJ. When Jeff and I were in Japan a couple months ago, we did a couple big trade shows. Obviously, lots of cool things, right? There was new reels, there's new baits, new rods, right?
Yeah.
But the one booth that Jeff and I spent the most time at, the product has finally arrived. Now, look, you're probably thinking that I'm some kind of perv, but I'm in it for the fish.
When I saw this morning,
Yeah.
I just discontinued everything else. I was like, you know what? This is the coolest thing I think we're dropping today.
Yeah, I'm in it for the fish.
Boner alert.
Here you go, guys. From J-Like Product, I'm bringing you maybe the most beautiful fish stickers that I've seen in quite some time. There's a good variety. I'm going for this one.
That yellowtail one is pretty sick.
The yellowtail is my favorite. Look at the beautiful scales on that one.
So what you have to do is just catch each species, and then you can put that on like your water bottle or car or whatever.
Yeah, so, or you could just put it on your water bottle or car. There's a bass.
I'm just going to put it on my wall.
Right? There's some nice trouts. What is she saying?
She's saying, I like throwing great huntings.
Have you seen the trout video?
This one has tan
Oh,
lines.
God. They're pretty detailed.
Yeah, look at that smallmouth. I mean, that's an epic smallmouth. Am I right? So there you go, guys. If you want just some of the most beautiful fish stickers that I've ever seen, there's some girls on them too.
I didn't even notice. I was just looking at the fish.
I know, me same. Yeah, so definitely scoop those up from J-Like Products. You're welcome.
How much time did you guys spend at that booth?
Look, don't worry
Too
about
long?
it. Yeah, you should have seen the conversations. That one or that one? How many of this one do we get? I'm thinking about all the places I'm going to put them, then multiplying by all the other pervs I know in my life. I'm like, we're going to need like 500 of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We put one on the FedEx truck last week.
No way.
100%.
Nice.
Yeah, dude loved it, left it there until FedEx saw it. Then we got in
Perfect.
trouble. Yeah, so cheers, my friends. Enjoy. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, there's not much. Ooh, it just has like a whole magazine of them.
Oh, 100%. All right, CJ, one more brand drop, and then we're going to talk about some really dope rods. Okay,
Sweet,
super
sweet.
excited to get to this. So, Picasso lures. We don't talk about Picasso a lot. We sell a ton of Picasso. Really known, famous for their weights, right?
Yep.
They came out with some new products at the Bassmasters Classic, finally arriving here in shops. This is going to be interesting, okay? They, as you know, they make some vibrating jig style baits, right? They're taking it to another level, okay? We're going to start right here. The Jika Vibe.
I think this is a super interesting concept. I think it could be really dirty. I think it just has to be fished right.
Yes. So I'm curious. I'm super curious, right? So here you go, the Jika Vibe. Now, Jika rig, as you guys know here, let me just open one up. By the way, these are available as two options. There's a Gamakatsu option, so it's going to come with like a Gamakatsu G-Lock hook, right? And there's some different sizes. There's a 1/0, 2/0, 3/0. And then there is a Ryugi option. Okay, it's going to come with an infinity hook. There's a 3/0, 4/0, 5/0, right? I'm going to open one of these up here, and let's take a look at it.
I like that they made different hooks. That's cool.
It is cool,
Yeah, I
right?
like that they gave you a few options.
Yeah, if you're a Gamakatsu guy, there's an option for you. If you're a Ryugi guy, it's cool that they teamed with Ryugi to this as well. So each one of these is going to have a tungsten cylinder weight down here that Picasso is famous for. So a Jika rig is basically this, right? It's basically like a jig rig where that lead falls down and your soft plastic bait is here, and you can kind of hop it and move it. So they have added this kind of circuit board, like chatterbait kind of blade to the front of it. So now you can create a vibrating version of it. Don't know. Okay. It might be unbelievable. It might be ridiculous. I don't know, but it was interesting enough for me to want to play with it and see for myself if it would be good. I think it's worth trying. I think it's just something new and different the fish haven't seen. So you guys might find that you do really well with it. So, please give it a try and report, right? Let's all kind of collectively let each other know if there's some merit to this or not. But an interesting concept from Picasso. So there you go. The Jika Vibe, available now in a Gamakatsu version and a Ryugi version. Boom.
It's pretty cool. It's something I could see myself throwing with like the Nories bait we just talked about.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of burn it down a bank or whatever, then stop it and shake it for a little bit. You got both options.
Totally.
Cool idea.
Dude, you could put a Doe Live Beaver on this. You could put like a paddle tail, like a K-Tech or something.
Yeah.
And, have a lipless or a vibrating jig and then, pause it and let it fall down and shimmy.
Yeah.
A lot of options you can do with it. Okay, staying on this kind of trend, okay? This is an interesting one. Just in time for Senko season. How about that?
Huh. There you
A
go.
Wacky Vibe.
Interesting.
Okay, now these will eventually come as weighted and unweighted. Right now, we just have the unweighted. Okay, so this is designed for you guys that are wanting to throw like a Wacky Rig Senko or some kind of Wacky Rig worm. Essentially, the same idea is what we just had. So you put your Senko right here, but now you have a vibrating Senko.
That is wild.
Right? So you can still let it fall and flutter like a Senko, but when you pull it up and shake it, it's going to kind of give you that burst and then fall and then burst, right? So it's just going to add something a little bit different than what maybe everybody else is doing. I don't know, right? It's new. We're going to have to try it. It could be amazing. It could suck. One way to know, we got to fish it, right? So if you guys find yourself this time of year pitching a wacky rig around, trick worm, Senko, whatever it is that you guys wacky rig, might have some interesting game.
I guarantee you not a single fish has seen that yet.
No. So, I don't know, give it a try, right? So those are new this week from Picasso. And then one that I really don't know about, but, you know, hey, I'm going to give it a stab because you ever heard, you know what a Pistol Pete is?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, like super old school, like, you know, craziness. I can't tell you how many smallmouth have been caught on like little Pistol Petes, inline spinners. Like, you know, dude, when I was growing up, we just used to smoke them on like Panther Martins and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I can see this having game. Again, we're gonna have to try it and see is this cool or is this just kind of dumb. So here you go, the Smartmouth inline weedless. I said smallmouth, doesn't have to be. Designed to throw like a swim bait behind it. It's basically turning like a K-Tech or something into like an inline spinner.
So first thing that came to mind for me, that's going to be a live scope fisherman's dream. So there's times at our lakes where the fish were suspended and I'd throw a jerkbait by them and they didn't really respond. I'd throw a small spinnerbait by them and they'd follow it, but they weren't, like, you could tell they wanted it, but they just wouldn't commit. But a little just inline swim bait like that down there could be pretty deadly.
So, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's an inline spinner, right? So you got your blade up front here. You've got your jig head back here. By the way, the jig head does have the 4 bristle weed guard. It's got the double hook keeper. You put your little paddle tail swim bait back there, and basically you have an inline spinner with a swim bait. So, I don't know. Again, different, right? It might have a lot of game. It might be totally ridiculous, but worth a shot, I think. Interesting enough, right, to try it. So there you go. 3 new drops this week from Picasso. Give them a stab and let us know what you guys think. Those are new this week. All right, CJ, the time has come to talk about rods. Now, we've got some super dope new raid rods to talk to you guys about. I'm super stoked about that. But before we jump in, let's talk about some Megabass rods really quick. A new Megabass Kukai bait casting rod has arrived. So Kukai series is basically a Destroyer P5 line of like saltwater sea bass type rods, right? A lot of them have become staples in a lot of our arsenals. Like Griff and I were talking yesterday. You love that spinning rod.
The 7.2 medium?
Yeah. So I mean, Griff and I have been throwing that 7.2 medium. There's 7-foot medium that is like crazy applicable in freshwater. Little jerk baits, bottom contact stuff. Of course, there's like surf rods and stuff. But there's an amazing casting rod in the Kukai that's built exactly the same as a blackjack, but weighs like half the weight, right? So we've all been throwing it, love it. So when we saw them announce this one, it was like, what the hell? Let's grab it. So it's an 810 medium. Okay, it's rated for up to 40 grams, so about 1.5 ounces. You can push 2 ounces with this no problem. Okay, it's really designed as like a crankbait rod. It's relatively soft. So, like Griff and I were kind of playing with it. It's very similar feel to like an Orochi launcher, but it's 8'10". And it weighs nothing.
Imagine the cast on that.
Right. I mean, you could just bomb forever. So if you guys are looking for a long rod alternative, you can see it's relatively soft at the tip. So really, it's a crankbait rod. Right. There's not really going to be a lot of other things it's going to be great at because it's got that kind of softer tip. It is a 2-piece, so don't worry, like, how am I going to fit a 9-foot rod in my locker? You don't have to. It is ferruled in the middle, so it can store easily for you. All the Kukais, by the way, are 2-piece, right? You don't know you're fishing a 2-piece because it's Destroyer P5. It doesn't weigh anything, right? And super solid. So might be a great option for some of you guys. Check them out. Those are available now. And then we also got a resupply in some really cool kind of nichier P5s. So, you know, some of the rods like Mad Bull are back. 110 sticks, if you guys are in jerkbait season, those return. The Whippet is back. Is one of our favorite light duty spinning rods. We just dropped a video last week, like a trout jerkbait rod video. You love the Whippet?
Yeah, I've caught a lot of fish on the Whippet. It's a beautiful rod for especially trout fishing, but lighter bass stuff too.
Yep. So any little jerk baits, huh?
Hover shot.
Oh, this is your hover shot rod?
It's a great hover shot.
Yeah, so Griff's saying hover shot's great on that. So definitely worth looking at. Also, the F1 stinger tip in the Kirasame is back. So if you guys are looking for a really light little finesse jig or soft plastic rod, those are back. The Cliffhanger Thrilling is back, and the Pop X stick and the Siglet. So the Siglet's like a little finesse, little BFS hard bait. Cliffhanger Thrilling is a little finesse soft plastic BFS rod. So all those return this week from Megabass and Destroyer P5.
Nice.
Okay, let's jump over to Raid. Okay, super excited about this. I've been working on this now for several years, trying to get Raid rods over here. This is one of the lines in Japan that I've been sad I haven't had, right? There's tons of rods, right? Whether you're in the US, whether you're in Japan, and a lot of times the rod market just gets kind of cloudy. Like there's so many options. You're like, well, I mean,
Sure.
everything's kind of the same, right? This is one of those lines of rods that every time I'm in Japan, I see them in a store, I see them at a show, and it's just like, man, I want these rods bad. So finally, the day has come. We're starting to get some good flow of Raid in. Now, Raid has two different lines. This is the Gladiator Anti series. Then there is a Gladiator Maximum that will be coming probably over the next month or two, okay? The difference, Maximum is a little bit higher end. You're going to be pricing that 700 to 800 series. The Anti is going to be in that 420 to 450 range, so they're priced really well for a JDM rod that are super sweet, okay? So I'm gonna kind of walk through some of these models with you guys. First off, just to kind of show you the cosmetics here, they're simple but beautiful, right? So very clean, very stylish, incredibly light, very comfortable in hand, right? They have that kind of soft touch reel seat. They have that EVA foam lockdown. So everything about them is just a real high-end feel, but they're built for function, which is what you guys are gonna really like, okay? So I'm gonna walk through some of these models. So in my hand is a 6.2, this is called the BF Trickler. It's a 6.2 light, kind of a bait finesse, all-around use rod, 1/8 ounce to 1/4 ounce. So you could throw lighter bass stuff on here, like a little square bill. You could throw like a little shower blow, smaller topwaters, all the way down to like little trout baits. It's got a nice kind of soft tip to it, but it's got plenty of power in the butt section. So even if you wanted to throw, you know, soft plastic, little wacky rig, something like that, you could on that. This is the 610 MC. This is called the Joker. Okay, so this is gonna be an amazing one if you guys are looking for an alternative rod to what's on the market for like jerk baits. This is really that rod.
Yeah, I think so, huh?
Walking topwaters, jerk baits, like in that 110 range. This one is just sick, just to spec it out for you. 1/4 to 3/4, 10 to 16 pounds. So it's gonna spec out basically just like a 110 special would. Weighs nothing. Taper, very similar. It's got some give in the tip, but bounces back quick. And then it's just kind of that nice kind of gradual taper and power. Feel how light that is.
Whew. That is pretty light.
Yeah, weighs nothing.
And they look sick too. I'm really excited for shore guys and kayak guys to get their hands on these rods. I think they're gonna be perfect for that.
Yeah, so, and that's just a beautiful rod.
It is.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
super lightweight. Super lightweight.
That one's super dope. There's a 7.5 extra heavy, the Undertaker. This is gonna be a rod for you guys that need a little shorter rod for throwing like a 6-inch Citizen, Mag Draft Freestyle, something like that. You can even throw a smaller glide on this, like a Tiny Clash, something like that. This is a great one for that. We got the Defender. So this is a 6.3 light spinning. So it's gonna be like a little kind of whippy spinning type rod. That one's super sick. There is a 611 medium light spinning with a stinger tip. So this is going to be a drop shot,
Nice.
Lighter free rig, just beautiful here. Let's take a spinning out so we can put our eyes
They
on
got
that as
everything
well.
covered. I like it. Tons of options.
It's a good lineup of rods that's expanding as well. So, you know, if you guys, you know, try it and get into it, of course, all the stinger tips come with that foam there. Let's see if we can open this up and we can show you guys the grip.
I'm so happy that you got these in. I always watch the Raid videos and I see them throwing these rods, and
Yeah.
it just looks like so much fun to fish with. Like the style that they're fishing in, how compact they are. Like it looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a look at the spinning styling. So you have that nice kind of ergonomic you know, front grip to where you kind of fits in your hand, and your hand can be right there on the blank where it should be. Really cool all-around rod. Griff, while you're here, talk to me about this one. The Frogman. Talk to me about this, dude. I'm going to take it up.
The Frogman. Frogman Griff.
Yeah. So, by the way, guys, this is called the Frogman. It's a 6'7", medium heavy. Talk to me about this bad boy and what you're comparing it to.
All right. So 6'7", medium heavy. Everybody knows one of my favorite rods is the Lily Pad Survivor. This one's going to be almost identical to it, right? So it's going to be a little bit softer on the front, on the top, but it's going to throw like that Kyara frog, that kicker frog, all those frogs really well. Kick knocker pup. It's going to do light flipping. It's going to do all that cool stuff in a short package. Right, it's a medium heavy, so it's not a medium. It feels like a medium.
Yeah, because it's so light and it's crisp.
Yeah.
Right, but Griff and I were bending this and the Lily Pad Survivor. So those of you guys that don't know Lily Pad Survivor, it's an old discontinued Destroyer model that was like your favorite go-to frog rod for that smaller compact frog.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
and we've been looking for an alternative.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what we've been looking for as an alternative. So every rod that comes in that's close, I'm like, oh, this is it. And then we find it, and we're like, this is not it.
Right, not quite.
But this one is it. This one's going to be a great top water rod. Sparse cover flipping, some light stuff. But when you want to throw those little frogs, this is going to be the one. We used to carry a frog called the Spin Gavacho. You could definitely throw it on this. It's really light. You throw it on that. The kicker frog, it's very hard to throw. It's so light.
Right.
Right? But
It's a sick frog.
It's a frog that gets bit, right?
Right.
But everybody has that big, like 7.2 heavy, extra heavy, and you're not throwing it with that.
Right.
But this right here, this is the one.
Good
the
alternative.
Frogman.
Yeah, so this is a little different styling too. It's got that cork butt. It's got the solid one-piece EVA foam grip on it instead of the split grip. So a little different styling, a little cleaner.
Yeah.
Sick rod. I think for you guys that like that little lighter duty frog rod, this is going to be a home run for you.
It's so light.
I know. Keep that one out.
All of them are super light. All of their rods are like incredibly feather light.
Super light. And then finally, there's a 6.5 power bait finesse. So again, another bait finesse option, just going to handle a little different rating. You guys can check it out online. So really excited. Raid rods finally here. You guys can read all the specs and all the warranty info and everything online there, so you guys know more about the lineup. And we should see this expand over the next couple months as well into the rest of the models, the other lineup, and we're trying to keep a relative decent flow on these. For now, I don't know. I'm super excited about them, so like I want to buy all of them. So they may evaporate out of here. They may take a little bit of time. I don't know, because it's such a new thing. But I know a lot of people have been waiting for Raid rods to arrive because they do have such a big presence in Japan. So really excited to get them. I think you guys are going to love them. Check those out. Those are new this week from Raid. All right, guys. So that is a wrap this week. CJ, some really dope things. Yeah. Feels like a quick episode, but then it feels like a long time ago we were talking about red-eye glass shrimp. So it feels like there were some really cool things. So everything kind of got me. I've basically been spun since the stickers. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we.
I should have just wrapped it.
I think we thought it was going to be a quick episode, and then we started talking about these things and realized how sick they are, and we're like, oh my gosh, and started elaborating.
You kind of have to go down, the certain rabbit hole of every bait, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, what was your favorite thing that you saw today, or most interesting thing?
For sure,
of course,
stickers. But seriously, like the Raid rods, I'm really excited about. Like I said, I watch all their videos, and it looks like a lot of fun to fish with those. The red-eye shrimp is pretty dope. I think a lot of guys are going to like that, especially in the baits that they came in. Yep. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff this episode.
There's some interesting things. So excited for you guys to get them out on the water. If you have questions on anything that we drop, drop down below, and I will definitely get an answer for you. CJ will put links to all the products down in the description as well. You guys can check them out. On behalf of myself and CJ and Griffin, everybody here at the Hookup Tackle Guys, thank you for giving us time and watching our videos. Thank you for your business and support. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Go hug your family, catch some giant fish, try some of these cool new baits, right? I'm excited to see what happens with red-eye glass shrimp. I think you guys are going to jack them. If you can find it, drink the most delicious beer from Japan, Orion. Cheers, my friends. Have a great weekend. See you next week.